Welcome, Tom Crotty, Johnny Tobin, and James Blanchfield. It's the Knock On. It's our podcast. We're here every week, lads. How's it going?
Not too bad, Stephen. All
That's
good,
good.
all good.
Well,
All good in
Tom,
Kilkenny as well.
absolutely. Tom, you were the only team out in action last weekend, and you weren't terribly confident going to Mullingar, but by God, you came back with a smile on your face.
I know, slightly confident. It's just we're
Two
missing a
wins.
couple, and but you'd always be worried going away, So no, got two great wins. Started off with the seconds, they won 14-11. Well, they were winning by a bit more, but you gave away a try in the last minute of the game. Just a great old game, and we even had Tom Bulger arrive back up again.
Will he ever retire?
Oh, this is it. When the van arrived up at training a couple of weeks ago, I went, "Oh Jesus, here we go again." I tell you,
I saw the team on the KCLR.
Was he at the inside centre now?
Hold on now, Tom. He started at inside centre, and then he moved through injury, moved out half, and then he ended up going in scrum half.
So pace was outstanding.
The legend that Tom is, in fairness to him, he's a mighty man. He puts the boots on every year and just rise up, and we're kind of waiting.
Tullow man, Tom, what do you expect? He's a good Tullow man.
I'm not even going to make a comment on that one.
I used to hate seeing him coming at a ruck because he used to make a run from about 40 yards at full back, and he was
blow your head off.
And he'd hit the bloody ruck, and you'd go, Jesus Christ, here he comes again. I'm in for another day of this, And he'd wind you up, In fairness, he was a good old character. Himself never struck it off on the pitch. I will say that, you know what? You can always see in him that he's Carlow to the bone,
Oh, absolutely. He's just so funny, and straight away, I'm going in there. I'm going out half. I'm going scrum half. You can just move out. There's nobody else who's going into those positions. So anyway,
the coach is saying different, but Tom is doing his own thing.
Yeah, this was great to watch. There's a player, Jack Hickey. Now Jack has the handlebar moustache. He's more like a '70s porn star running around. But I've never seen anyone tackle. His tackle count on Sunday was just phenomenal. And it's old-fashioned tackling. Those lads in shock to be running and to be hit around the ankles. He'd get up and next minute he'd tackle another fella, and then went on and did the same. He came on the first then for the last 20 minutes or so, and continued on tackling on that. Fantastic. Some good young players actually around.
Tell me this, Tom, did you get many through now from that under-18 team that won the league last year? Would they now have been playing the other day?
We had one on the seconds.
Right.
But he was to sub up to the first, but he got a bang in the knee, and he ended up, he couldn't sub. Right. So that's how Jack got moved up. He filled in.
Okay.
But no, we had I think the first team then, the one was 18-7. They had scored a try in the first. Evan Gordon got a try from a maul in the first half, followed by Cayman Brennan, who played underage, would have been on that 18s team that won the treble a couple of years back. Cayman played at 13, and my own young fella played at 12. Cayman scored a fantastic try. John White was playing out half. John was completely got a revival.
You're putting all the stuff.
He played outstanding. Huh?
John's a cousin of mine.
Yeah, John played. He just was like a young lad. Absolutely had a cracking game.
Yeah.
I don't know what, but it's just having the break and having kind of players around him now. Just had a great game.
And Richard was full back, was he?
Yeah, and Richie full back. There's boys aren't young, in fairness, but they were like two young fellas on Sunday, and that's
to be athletic, and to be naturally fit as well,
Absolutely.
You can tell they're playing Tullow in 6 weeks, can't you?
What?
You can tell you're playing Tullow in 6 weeks, can't you? You're pulling out all the stops.
No. Local rivalry is great, isn't it? But I know, look, hats off to the boys. They got the win. It's great to get a win away. Mullingar started off, they were poor enough. They got their coach was saying, Thomas Campbell was still coaching them, and he came on at scrum half. I was saying earlier he was doing the video in the first half, and then I think he got taken, threw on the boots and came on himself. So
because when he joined Mullingar, I think it's maybe 3-4 years ago, like he got a big revival going on there, like, and they started to make shapes, but I don't really know what seem to have gone downhill since by all accounts, have they?
yeah, but
They've lost a lot of
they have
players.
that Islander still playing with him, and he's 39.
Or Lamaki Viapolo or Lamaki.
Yeah,
I
like
know
he's
the
still
guy.
playing.
He's a fierce, nice fella.
Fierce, nice fella, good player, but like he's
But in
39 years
now,
of age.
he's had more clubs than Tiger Woods as well. Like since he's come to Ireland, like I think he's been with Thomond, Gary Owen, young Munster, Nina Orman, Tullamore, and now with Mullingar. You know, I think it was Gary Owen that brought him over initially.
Yeah, in his day he was a good player, but I mean he was warming up. He was outstretching himself before our seconds game, so it took him nearly 2 hours to warm up.
Get into it.
Yeah, so
we're an assassin.
Huh?
Their 7 is an assassin. He's a serious tackler.
Who?
Mullingar 7, the lad with the long hair.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a beast.
Yeah. But
he put 2 lads on the shelf for us.
Huh?
He put 2 lads on the shelf for us.
Yeah, he's kind of that. He's
big chap.
He has a nasty little streak to him too. You know, he has his heart. What?
He's not standing on anyone, or he's not doing nothing crazy.
No,
he's very physical, and he's borderline, but he's physical.
He got done
contact.
He got dumped backwards though. He got hit in the first half by one of the backs, and he got absolutely poleaxed backwards up on his arse. So, which was nice to see. I don't think he was expecting it.
That's a mini victory for Carlow there.
Oh, totally. Actually, look, isn't everything like that a little mini victory?
Yeah, but sure, they're the things that lead to the big ones.
So I know. Look, we're looking at a good place then heading to Clondalkin at the weekend. So
he should be Clondalkin as well now, shouldn't he?
Yeah, well, they just don't get involved with them.
Well, that's it.
You're going to hell. That's where you're going.
Yeah, it's always a tough place to go, and they love scrummaging.
And the crowd, everything's there. It's just niggly. They want you to come down to a level, and it's if you just let them in at all. The lads have been warned for 2 weeks about this, so if they blow it on Sunday because of that, they should be shot because you just can't get involved. You should know them by now. You can't get involved.
Line him up across the bank, Tom.
Huh?
Line him up across the bank. Good luck.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah. Just stay quiet and let him off.
Yeah. You have to when you're going there. You can't entertain that stuff when you go there. They'll just get on top of you.
Oh, absolutely. The crowd are off.
We always find it so hard. We could be having an exceptional season and we go up there and we just find it so hard to get a victory.
Yeah.
And they could come back down to Tullow, then you just smash them. Like, but when you go up there, there's something about it. It's like Longford. It's an awful place to go.
Yeah.
Awful journey. Nice place, but an awful journey.
We're talking about the rugby now, not tourism.
Yeah. Tourism Ireland will be shutting us down.
Tell you. James, you've got with Dundalk at home. So you're by a bit of confidence from your last game and your win, of course.
Yeah, the boys have a lot of confidence in them. I was talking with Doc there last night, and you know, he's optimistic. He has a good squad ahead of him. A little bit more depth starting to come in now the last week. A prop with a lot of AIL experience has just rocked up the training there out of the blue on Tuesday night. And I mean, a lot of AIL experience. He's just relocated to Kilkenny, so that's a big one for us, given the difficulties that we've been having in that department so far this season. And what's more, he can play tight head or loose head, so that's a big plus for us. Roy Stanley is back from injury, so for this weekend's game against Dundalk. Jack Nolan is back. He was meant to emigrate to China, but I don't really know what happened, but apparently he's back in the mix as well. Wes Carter is carrying a knock from the last game, so remains to be seen whether Wes will be in the mix or not. Liam Caddy will also be back this week. So from that perspective for Dave and Stevie Ashmore, like the squad is nearly right. And there's a mate of Dave O'Connor's actually as well after joining us as well from the UK, a guy called Jake Pratley. So he would have played a lot of rugby with Leeds Rhinos Academy when he was growing up. And he actually emigrated to Finland a number of years ago, where he met Doc. I think the two of them coached the Finnish national team there for a couple of years. So he just decided to come over as well and play a bit of ball. So he's kind of a 9, 10, 12, 13 sort of player. So
handy.
and what's more, Sean Morin, who has been Sean would have been an Irish youth for us about 6 years ago. He's been working abroad for the last couple of years, but the company he's working with, Modubuild, they brought him back to Kilkenny in the last couple of weeks. So he's back as well. So where 4 or 5 weeks ago we were minus maybe 9, 10, 12 players from last year, suddenly we're back up maybe 6 or 7 players that we weren't planning to have. So that's a big plus. And then where that's going to have a big effect is, most of all, is it's going to free guys up for the seconds and hopefully start getting a little bit more traction, a bit more results there with the twos, because they were disappointed not to get their game 2 weeks ago against Sutton. Dundalk will bring down the seconds team, so hopefully there'll be a bit more strength back down there as well. So look, at all is good on that front, and we had a mixed bag as well with the youths last weekend too. But the under 16s, who I saw for the first time, had a big win against New Ross. That's the team, Johnny, you mentioned that I think they have 10 Southeast players on the squad.
Yeah.
I really, really, really liked what I saw in some of the players, particularly the out half, young Ring. I think it's Daniel Ring, is it?
Yeah, that's him.
Really, really exciting kind of player. Has absolute gas to go. Like, he'll just give him a gap, and he went length of the pitch first phase off a scrum there the other night, like from behind his own dead ball line. And he just went the whole length of the pitch.
He's lightning quick now, in fairness.
Lightning quick. Yeah. One of the really, really important things for us as well that happened last weekend was our women. Senior women played a game. They were up in Wicklow. And look, they lost, but for us it's huge that they're back in now and they're getting in games. So I think they're out again this weekend in the friendly match. I'm not sure who they're playing. The under 16 girls beat the Wolves in the cup. I think they beat them well at home. The under 18 girls lost to Tullow. So look at, things are looking well across the club, and this weekend there's another tranche of games out, so things are looking well. But on the first, they'll be quietly confident. Dundalk coming down. Dundalk have been kind of riding the crest of a wave for the last 2 rounds of the league, so we'd hope we can put a halt to their march,
Yeah, and deploy the secret weapons.
That's it. Yeah, but look, you can't. The other side of it is it's great about talking about all these lads who have come back and who've arrived, but you just can't parachute them in either. There's a big cohort of fellas there that have been training since the beginning of July, and they're up to speed on the game plan and the systems and the calls and all this kind of stuff, and they're fit as well. You just can't parachute a lad in and say, he's a great lad, he played AIL rugby for 10 years, in you go. It might turn out to be the worst thing. You might turn him off it completely. So, there's a process we have to go through, and you never know. As I said, the seconds could be very strong this week. They could have Jack Nolan, the lad Joe Moynihan, Sean Morin, all playing for them, So
yeah, that's it. Well, things looking up there anyway. It's a completely different tune to what we were talking about a couple of weeks ago. So
it is, yeah.
That's good to see.
It is, yeah. It is good to see. Looking at it's down to a lot of hard work and endeavour as well. Like, Dave O'Connor, really, I was chatting with him last night. I rang him for a chat, and he's saying he's on the phone 2-3 hours a day. Like, being a head coach as well and trying to balance a job isn't easy. And like Tom, you'll say it from a president's perspective as well. Like, your head is stuck in everything. Yeah. You're getting phone calls about. I rang Dave Matthews today, our president. Like, I said, I actually don't know how he does it, how you do it, because your head is stuck in absolutely everything that's happening in the club, and you're getting phone calls about Jeannie Mac about child protection for use of photographs in the paper, to recruiting players, to booking a bus. It's the work that goes in behind the scenes in clubs is incredible, and it's testament to everyone that what they've done in the last few weeks to try and pull it all together for us. No different to yourselves in Carlow, Tom and Ian, Tullow, Johnny,
Yeah, it's funny when you talk about Doc and Ian, lads, because when he came back to Kilkenny, was it 3 years ago?
He's in his 3rd season, yeah.
Yeah, I was chatting to Stevie Ashmore, and he said, Doc is crazy. And I said, what do you mean? He said, he has a folder at home, he says, with about 70 or 80 guys' names on who played for Kilkenny, and he's ringing every single one of them.
Yeah.
That's what you've got to do. I said, yeah, he's crazy, but you have to do, and He's
Like,
reaping
there's
the
a chap.
rewards of it now, but look things.
This is it. You know, there's a chap from Greg Namana. His name is Jim Ryan, and Jim played. Came through New Ross, but he played a really high level of AIL rugby again, and I think he eventually signed for Bows. But like, Doc somehow knew about this fellow, and nobody else at Kilkenny knew about him. You know, it's all about, I suppose, the contacts too, and
Yeah.
you know, so
Doc knows
picking
about a lot
local
of lads
players.
that no one else knows about.
Yeah, Jim Ryan's a good player.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You know, I think he's after signing for someone in Limerick. I think he might be gone to Bows or something like that. But you know, there was talk of him moving to Kilkenny, moving home to live in Kilkenny or something like that. But was it Lansdowne he was with? And he did a couple of years in Canada as well.
Yeah.
But you know, it's a question we ask a lot. Like, what actually talent is around that we don't know about? Even in Carlow, even in Tullow, like what lads are living local that might be commuting to play a bit of ball, play with their club rugby in Dublin and living down here. You know, it'd be great if you could actually have a I suppose, a framework of all of the rugby players and where they live, and you just tip into it and say, well, that lad's living in Thomastown, we'll give him a ring, you know.
So,
Yeah, well,
social protection wouldn't let you wear that though.
No.
Actually,
well, Steve Ashton would be no stranger to a telephone either, because I know when he was in Carlow, we spent a couple of meetings together, and he was after ringing so many people. Like he has. Steve is great. He's a gift of the gab when it comes to. He's a good salesman.
He does, yeah. Look,
He's a
I
good
suppose one thing
salesman
about
to get you
Stevie
to
is
a
like
club.
he's always in it for the right reasons, you know. And sometimes I say, geez, you're a sucker for punishment. Like, when will you stop and just allow yourself to have Steve time, you know? Because when he joined us first in, I think it was 2011, maybe 2012, like, he went straight through. He got us 2 Towns Cup finals, got us promotion to 1B, promotion to 1A. Like, we unbelievable success under him. And when he was stepping down, he said, yeah, I'm stepping down now and I'm going to have some Steve time. 3 weeks later, he was coaching our women's team, you know. And then after
Love
that, he
doing
goes,
that to you,
no, it's
James.
Steve time. Pardon?
Love would do that to you.
And 3 weeks then, a season after that, he was finishing up. And I texted him and I said, so are you going to enjoy Steve time? You're getting back into coaching? He goes, back into coaching, but not with Kilkenny. And he sent me a picture of Oak Park, and I was kind of going, right, I might have to delete your number off the phone. And but then, like, he finished with you guys, finished with Carlow, came back to us then, and then last year he was involved with the Kildare footballers. Like, and how one man can fit so much into his time, I don't know. But look, he's a credit. He's just in it for the right reasons, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's a good fella.
Johnny, you've got Boyne visiting town this weekend.
Yeah. So it's actually positive. I think we could have a second team out this weekend, which would be really positive for us. Numbers have been improving an awful lot in training. Lads have been leading it rather themselves. I even seen in the seconds group chat the other day, my youngest brother putting in a text message to get lads training. He's only back about 2.5 weeks himself, and he's already hopping off lads to get back training. Give it about another month now, and he'll be gone missing himself. But yes, it's looking well. Lads are training well. Tuesday night, the really good numbers are actually training tonight because we have GAA tomorrow. So we should have a lot of lads back this weekend. I know Will Kelly's coming back from Castledermot because they're finished now. And then Tullow are playing the Cox tomorrow night, and Kilbride are playing tomorrow night as well. So we should have a good few lads back after this weekend. So all moving in the right track.
Yeah, absolutely.
Our women's team had a big win last weekend. They're 32-15 against Eden Derry. We're 25-12. One of them wins either. Not too sure, but it's a big win on the road.
Absolutely, and they have Railway Union coming to Tullow this weekend as well. So
that'll be
just on the Tullow women, actually, the guy Jake Pratley that's come over to play with us, his wife is a Finnish international, and I believe she's after joining Tullow as well.
Oh, she came last year, I think.
Yeah, she's back again.
I think so. Yeah. And Jake Pratley's actually coming in to work with us in Kilkenny College.
That's right.
Yeah. Jake's good. He was meant to come a couple of years ago. I think he went back travelling. Nice fella. Yeah. Look, it's all looking well. The youth teams are flying it there at the minute. Under 13s are after bagging a couple of wins, and it's great for them. First year at full 15s rugby, and they've got 2 games on the AstroTurf already, so they're flying it there. 2 good wins. 14s, 15s, 16s all moving well. Our 16s are a little bit struggling for numbers at the moment because of county football. We've a lot of lads playing county football. The Colts, I think it's called in Carlow. Is it, Tom?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, we're the same. Our 16s are struggling too. Same.
Yeah, we've a lot of lads playing football on that. But yeah, look, we are where we are, and the main positive is there's kids on grass.
Yeah.
You know, there's kids out playing ball, and whether they have 13 aside or 38 on the line, it doesn't matter. They're playing ball. It's brilliant. Like, you know, it's great to see it.
Yeah, I have to say the same. Our own youths had actually all teams out last weekend won, including
a big weekend last weekend.
Yeah, it was a great weekend, and we better mention the girls, the under 16s, the Rhinos, and the under 14s Rhinos. Both of them won the cups.
Yeah,
and that's the combination of ourselves and Tullow, and it's turned out to be quite a good success.
So we're so far anyway, Tom.
We've a week off this week, and then the 16s are playing a tie in the quarter final, and hopefully we can get through that.
I hear a Tullow legend is coming out of retirement this weekend as well.
Yeah, there's a few lads.
Who's that? John Brown.
Yeah, so John Brown actually might be there. I don't know if he's playing, but Paddy is playing. Yeah, so I got an interesting phone call yesterday. Would I play on a President Select 15 of past players and retired men? And I said, thanks, Paddy. But yeah, I'll be there. So it's going to be interesting.
What's the game, Johnny?
It's President Select 15 versus the Dáil and Shannon, the old boys. So it'll be a bit of crack. The bar is open, stuff like that. So I suppose it's to mark the opening of the pitch as well. And Paddy would have played for the Dáil and Shannon a few times. Tommy Dwyer himself would have represented it at that level. But yeah, look at it. It's going to be funny. I'm looking forward to it now, to be honest with you.
Can I ask a question, Johnny?
Yeah.
You just said you're coming out of retirement.
Yeah.
You know, you had to actually have played to go into retirement.
Yeah. The last time I played you were standing over a rook and you're doing a lot of chit chat and talking. That's all you ever done on a grass pitch. Lots of talking. Yeah, we'd say nothing because in the same game, Joe Manuel ran me over like a steam train. So
that's right.
We'll say nothing. But yeah, look forward to it. Should be good old crack.
Enjoy, and it should be good, yeah.
Yeah, a bit of a laugh, you know.
Absolutely.
Something to do.
Some other good news from a Tullow perspective. Killian Redmond has joined or signed for London Irish.
Yeah, was made official early this week. So, as the lads know, Cillian has worked really, really hard to get back to rugby from an illness when he was younger at 19, and it's worked really well for him there. And I suppose Sean played a massive part in getting him across the border for a trial, but Cillian had to do the hard work when he got there. And he's obviously done really well at it, and Declan Kidney saw something in him. So he signed a contract there, senior players contract, Monday afternoon. So yeah, it's really good.
Great stuff.
Really positive.
Great stuff. Danny, lads, catch any of the Leinster Munster games at the weekend?
Yeah, I watched the whole Munster game the other night. The one who was at DHL, the Stormers, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Game of two halves sort of job, wasn't it?
Two halves, yeah.
I think they were brutal in the first half.
They were chronic. Yeah. I think the Stormers might have gassed themselves out as well, and they gave it everything they had in the first half. And maybe if they had a try disallowed, maybe if that old try was allowed, things might be different. Peter O'Mahony made a last-ditch tackle. I actually dubious enough. It could have been for me. It could have been was he within the laws doing it? I don't know.
Is he ever within the laws?
Yeah, you know. But no, I think Munster did well in the second half. I remember tweeting it, and I think you liked it, Johnny. Munster were doing what Munster do. They just, what was it, 4 forwards tries?
Four forwards tries.
Yeah, they reverted back to type and it worked.
Yeah.
But I tell you,
Joey Carberry's not playing well.
You said that last week, and I watched.
Yeah, and he's not. He is definitely.
There's no forward steps at all. He was sitting very deep again, like as we know he does anyway. But it's just there's no progression, and that's what worries.
He will be on the hunt for another half in the summer.
Well, I don't think they need to be. I think they have it. I think Jack Crowley is going to be. I think Jack Crowley, Ben Healy, they are going to be.
They have, but I'd be more worried about the Irish position because, like, outside of Johnny, I know Ross Byrne's there, but
Harry,
hope Harry needs something. Somebody needs to come up because we have no attacking out half. No, there's no one. Like, they're all good. Like Ross is fantastic. he'll run the ball. He'll run the ball well, but there's no one like the Sexton will attack the gain line, and we'll go for it. Whereas we don't have an attacking out half in the country at the moment.
The more I think about the Joey Carberry thing, like when he was with Leinster, and then looking back and listening to old interviews as well, like Leinster tried him at the whole out half thing, and he eventually ended up back at full back. And then Munster came knocking and said, "Jesus, lads, any chance you take him off your hands?" And Leo Cullen was given a choice: well, Ross Byrne or Joey Carberry, and he held on to Ross Byrne. So Munster were sold up.
I heard Niamh Briggs saying it on News Talk last night. Sorry to mention competitor station there, Stephen. But she said that very, very same thing. So Joey Carberry, she sees him as a 15.
Yeah. And I'd 100% agree with her. He played fantastic in the tie as a young fella. He played. I watched him play for Blackrock. It was unbelievable that year, and I couldn't understand how. I blame Joe Schmidt. Half of it is Joe Schmidt's fault because he was the one that initially tried to put him in there.
Who was it? So Joe Schmidt the Clondalkin played him there, and then right.
Yeah, he just fell out. He just wasn't cutting the mustard for Leinster at 10, so they dropped him back to 15. And then he was actually rotated in and out of that panel that time. I think Rob Carney was still playing, so he wasn't even getting terrible amount of game time. So,
True enough. No, but look at Munster. There's an awful. I think same as every year. I think there's an awful lot of talk about them. What they're going to be thereabouts. But as we said the last few weeks, they have a lot of work to do, and Will they do it? I don't know. Do they have the squad to do it? I think they have the squad to win something this year, but I think the only thing that will beat Munster is Munster. And Tom, you hit the nail on the head last week. Irish teams are not South African teams.
No.
We have to play the source.
Well, I'd hope that they would eventually. They have to. Like, it's terrible to say, but if they don't beat Leinster this year, at some level. There's a serious issue with Irish rugby going forward, and it's the same with Ulster. And it's not just, I know we keep saying, I know
the other
province. Ulster have to come into it. Ulster have to start winning too. They have to beat the likes of Munster. Have to beat Leinster, and Connacht again. Like they had a great
Ulster
win.
Looked good the weekend.
They played fantastic win. Connacht had they
were really good. That try the Aussie got was incredible.
Yeah.
Ulster looked really good the weekend. Neil Doak's young fella looks to be the real deal.
Yeah, he does. He really does.
Could he be a future 10 for Ireland? Quite possibly, because Bernard Jackman said it on Against the Head at Monday night that from what he hears, Montpellier or Bordeaux are targeting John Cooney.
Yeah,
who are they playing either? Like Ulster, who are they beating? Who did they beat last week? Connacht, I know there was an impressive win, and that team that they played deserved to go back with that after the coach's comments of what Connacht are at the moment. Like his comments were outrageous, like what he made about
ridiculous. What Jake White said was
lads coming over looking for a contract in Leinster or getting the game back and looking to come back to get Leinster. Like just absolute nonsense what he's coming out with.
Yeah. But you know what? I don't mean to stereotype or I don't mean to do anything, but he's. I hope no South Africans are listening to this, but he's a typical South African. There was an arrogance there that just about him that I thought was gone out of a lot of them.
There's no place for it in life. Never mind in rugby.
Absolutely. I think one of Munster's big problems in general, James and lads, it's just and the same last year. I watched a lot of this. It's just so slow to get into a game. And it's almost too late by the time they actually snap out of it. And that was case in point at the weekend. But last year, Munster might run in a try or two, and that's it. They had 2 scores in the first 15 minutes, and that's it till 60, 70 minutes. And I remember watching a lot of games last year going, they're gone. They're into that lull again, and they're going to get beaten. But
they're going through this phase. Like they're starting really well. And then they get into, I suppose, the middle half of a game, and they're kicking ball away, and they're doing this box kicking thing, and they're chasing it. I can't get my head around it. Like when they have what they have in their backline, they don't need to do it. Just have a go. But on that, actually, I was unbelievably impressed by Mike Healy the weekend for Munster. I thought he was brilliant.
Yeah,
He's a very, very
good
good
off
player.
the boot.
Yeah.
Like he is a fantastic. He's had some amazing games in the last while.
Will Adson's another one up in
Yeah.
Ulster. Like he was good as well the weekend.
He was very good, yeah. What's interesting is we're all sitting here and we're back at Munster, and they actually had probably a more positive performance. Like Leinster last weekend.
Oh, it was shambolic.
Almighty.
I watched the whole thing like an idiot.
I burned all my Leinster gear. I don't have any more Leinster gear.
I was disgusted. I actually don't recall a game as bad. Honest to God, I don't recall a game as bad.
If Kilkenny and Dundalk came out from Fookstown on Saturday 7-6, you'd say it was an absolute cracker. Or two really bad attacking teams, right? Yeah. You would. It was a tight affair. That was the most boring,
it was
bland,
brutal.
rubbish game of rugby. And I sat through it all. I actually wanted to get up and just walk out with the dog and go for a walk somewhere. And I was like, this is absolute rubbish.
It was,
and they
it was
had
brutal.
Quality players playing.
Leinster conceded 36 turnovers. Yeah,
but like they had Andrew Porter playing, like they had Ross Byrne playing, they had quality players on the pitch.
Well, I'm glad I was in Mullingar and not watching that.
That was awful.
And I didn't. And it's one of the first times I haven't actually gone to watch because of everyone said how bad it was. And when Eddie O'Sullivan was saying it was shameful, I said, right, I think we'll give this game a miss.
Yeah. Oh, Tom, you didn't miss anything. I should have went to Mullingar with you.
You would have been
entertained. You would have been entertained anyway. No, it was brutal, and I don't know what the cause of it was, whether it was, I don't know, complacency or whatever, but there was the savage team out, and that the experiment continued in the front row as well, and they're going to persist with it too. They were saying,
I don't know, there was no real major pressure defensively wise.
No.
Skill sets were poor, execution was poor. Ross Byrne kicking the ball dead in with grubbers and crossfield kicks, hands going to the deck, basic errors that you think a 16s or 17s team would make, that you would pull whatever hair you had left out if they were doing it. Like, it's
36 turnovers. Zebra at home in the RDS.
But to the Dragons, lads, 3 seasons ago, they were the whipping boys of that competition.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Dean Ryan has done great work there as well. And I think, perhaps Leinster were bad, but, you know, the Dragons kind of upped their game as well. And Leinster were blindsided or weren't expecting what they got. You know,
they weren't a 7-6 scoreline good, though.
No.
The Dragons weren't a 7-6. They weren't worthy of a 7-6 scoreline. You know, credit to them, they were good, but they weren't that scoreline. You know,
lads, I need to drop out there now. I have to go put kids to bed, so I'll see you all next week.
That's it. That's the joys of a live podcast, folks. We're
Sorry, you won't get this in RT.
No, I had to mute my mic there during the podcast earlier because the child was screaming downstairs.
Well, I'm hearing one now.
Sack him.
Best luck the weekend to you all, lads. Take care.
You too.
Best luck yourself.
Go well in your match. So, lads, we'll probably wrap it up there ourselves. Anyway, they go well at the weekend. The two of yous all out this weekend, of course. Tom, you're heading for Dublin. Johnny, you're taking out the boots and you're watching a bit of rugby in the Black Gate. So
hopefully I'm in one piece next Thursday.
Our seconds are actually out. Our seconds are supposed to are playing Uras on Saturday night. Clondalkin are bottled and are playing in the Dublin League as usual. So
they're in the Metro,
but the seconds are going to play in Uras. In fairness to them, I've organised a team to come up on Saturday just to get the lads a game. And lastly, for me, I have to say congratulations to Newbridge College. They beat Belvedere today. Bet them well, 32-8, and have Castleknock in the semi-final. And I'm delighted. Blackrock and Turner.
Blackrock and you were the other one.
So, I know my old school, and I couldn't ask for better results.
Tom, it's brilliant because a mate of mine coaches in Terranure, and we're actually playing their juniors, their 06 juniors next week. And
you're all right. Keep her late. You're still on air, Johnny.
You're still here.
He's gone. Well, for anyone listening, Johnny just stopped talking and pulled down the lid of his laptop. So there's only myself and Tom here. Johnny, if you can hear us, you were still going, but I'll let you go on and grab your dinner. It's just myself and Tom. Tom, we'll wrap it up now. Thanks, Willie, for for talking to us. Go well at the weekend, and the best of luck on the pitch.
Yeah, and absolutely. Best luck to all the Southeast teams. Hopefully we'll all get a few wins in.
Absolutely. Talk to you next week, folks.